that narrative again, if you don't run away from it, are you going to bottle it? And that's going to be there. If we finish off Super Sunday with Arsenal, Manchester United, I predicted that one to be a draw, but I just didn't feel like United would get beaten that. I just knew they wouldn't. I just felt if they could come with that same energy and desire and that same compactness and the way that they played against Man City, which I didn't expect, them to not, although you kind of sometimes don't know what you're going to get with Man United. And I felt that they came with that again. They would just frustrate Arsenal. And again, for Arsenal, it's an own goal and another set piece one. And trying to think, watching the game, there's a few good saves from Lamens. Arsenal definitely aren't don't struggle as much to say like Liverpool do, for example, when a team is compact in defence, they create a little bit more. They're happy to shoot from outside the edge of the box and all of that type of stuff. It's not like they are absolutely dreadful to watch in that case, but it just feels like they struggle to pick the lock. I just don't think they do. I don't think that's how they're coached. I don't think that's what they play for. I don't think that's their style. I think Arteta's showing that, and Eze's kind of just coming off the bench again, and there was a bit of that freedom and letting them go a little bit when Eze first come in, but he's reverted back to type. He's reverted back to, I think, the reality of who he still is at its core, and he'll maybe adapt and evolve as a manager as time goes on, especially maybe if they don't get over the line here. But yeah, I just felt United would get something, and I think, they just played, for me, just very similar to City. It was we're happy not to have the ball, and they worked very hard off it, and Bruno combining very well with Dorgu up there on the left wing. I mean, I hate to say all this about Manchester United, but just all makes sense, doesn't it? I know it's only 2 games, but Dorgu just his characteristics and his style of just being, just very kind of ferocious and very direct at running at people, is kind of being like a left winger and letting him get involved and get close to Mbeumo and play off him. And the goal is just, VAR disallowed that. I would have been fuming. Just as a football fan. I put my video up about why don't people shoot from outside the box anymore. That's a goal of the season contender. What a hit, son. Great little play between him and Bruno for the goal. And then Cunha's obviously winners from the edge of the box too. He's got loads of time and space. A couple of touches, shapes it up. That's a Cunha special, isn't it, to bend it in there. And I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, I missed maybe the first 15, 20 minutes of it because, I wanted to finish the end of the Hearts game, but I think that felt like United probably deserved that, I really do think they did, and fair play to Michael Carrick again. And, City and Arsenal, and they're the easy ones to get up for, so now when the run gets a little bit easier, kind of continue to do that, and teams that won't maybe come at United as much, that'll be a different style. United will need to be a bit more on the front foot, so how can he adapt to it? But I hate to say it, but fair play to Michael Carrick, fair play to Man United, and they're in a better position than my team, Liverpool, are at the moment. And before I finish off with them, it's an interesting one in the title race. City get that win against Wolves, Semenyo gets a goal, and he feels like he's been at City for years, right? He's hit the ground running, absolutely works there. Guéhi coming in, that's going to make the defence more solid while they've got injuries. So yeah, I would be worried if I'm Arsenal. I would be worried if I'm Arsenal with City, because as soon as Haaland starts putting those in the back of the net, they've added the goals of Semenyo in there, which is just something they've not had. I've said that a lot, like Savinho and Doku and stuff. Good players, but they don't have a lot of threat. They're not killers. They don't have goals. Semenyo's a killer. He's got goals. So Arsenal fans, let me know what you guys are feeling and how you're thinking about this. There's obviously still a long way to go in your top, and you're going to continue to get wins. But yeah, that narrative again, if you don't run away from it, are you going to bottle it? And that's going to be there. And fair play to Manchester United, as I said. And let's see how the title race continues to go.